everyone. Today we'll learn about the last part of second chapter of physics, work, energy and power. Today's topic is law of conservation of energy. Law of conservation of energy. You know that energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, but it can be transformed from one form to another. The same is true in case of mechanical energy also. It means the sum of kinetic energy and potential energy of a body remains constant if no energy is provided from outside to the system. Let us take its verification. Suppose a ball of mass m is there at a height h from the ground level. This is the ball. Initially it is at rest, so initial velocity u is 0. It is dropped. Let this point be a. At a we'll see its potential energy, which is obviously mgh, because mass is m, g is acceleration due to gravity, and h is height. And kinetic energy, the formula is half mv square, but the value of v is 0 because initially velocity is 0. So kinetic energy at a is 0. Therefore mechanical energy, which is the sum of potential energy and kinetic energy, will be mgh plus 0, that is mgh. This is the mechanical energy at point A. Now when this body falls and reaches to any point B after falling a distance x, now we'll see what is the mechanical energy at B. At B, potential energy at B will be, see, when we take the height of the body, we take from the ground level. Earlier, initially it was at height h and it has fallen x. So now the remaining height is h minus x. So potential energy will be mg and height is h minus x. And kinetic energy, for this we need its velocity. Let velocity is v1 at this point. There will be some velocity, let us assume it to be v1. So kinetic energy would be half m v1 square. And we know that v square is equal to u square plus 2gh. Let us put the values. V is the final velocity, which is v1 in this case, because now at B, the final point, velocity is v1. Initial velocity was 0 and height which is fallen is x. So v1 square is 2gx. We'll substitute this value of v1 square, which is 2gx. 0 plus 2gx is 2gx. We'll substitute in 5. So kinetic energy will become half m into 2gx. 2's will be cancelled and we get mgx. So this in 4 we got potential energy at B, in 7 we got the kinetic energy at B. So mechanical energy at B will be potential energy at B plus kinetic energy at B. Potential energy is mg h minus x from 4, and kinetic energy is mgx. If you open this bracket, you'll get mgh minus mgx plus mgx. Minus mgx and plus mgx will be cancelled. Once again, we'll get the same mgh. At A, mechanical energy was mgh. At B also it is mgh. Further, it is falling and it reaches to the final point C. Final point means it has not touched the ground, but if for a fraction of second also it will fall further, it will hit the ground. So the last point without touching, we can say. So at C, suppose its velocity is v, which we take generally for final velocity. Potential energy at C will be mg, and height from the ground is 0 now, so it is 0 into something is 0. Potential energy is 0 and kinetic energy is half mv square, and we know that v square is equal to u square plus 2gh. U is 0, height fallen is h, so it is 2gh in this case. Let's take this as 10, this is 11. We'll put the value of v square from 11 in 10. So kinetic energy will be half m into 2gh. 2's will be cancelled, we will get mgh. So mechanical energy, which is potential energy plus kinetic energy, will be equal to 0, which is the potential energy at the last point, plus kinetic energy is mgh. So it is mgh from 3, 8 and 13. From equations 3, 8 and 13, it is clear that mechanical energy does not change, it remains constant for a given system. Mechanical energy is always mgh. So for how many points we saw the value of mechanical energy? At A, at B and at C. So can we say that energy will be conserved at all the points? When we are taking only 3 points, there are how many points? Infinite points are there. So is it right to say that at all the points it will be conserved, and some will be mgh only? Or we need to take another point C, D, E, Z, and then A1, B1, C1, so many points? Actually, children, these 3 points are sufficient. By taking only these 3 points, it is completely verified that mechanical energy remains conserved. Now the question is why or how? Actually, B is any point between A and C. You can take any value of x, 1 meter or 2 meter, 1.5 meter, 3.5 meter. You can take b here or here or here or here, anywhere. So it is a general value x which can be any value between 0 and h. So A is the first point, C is the last point, and B is all the points, at all the points between A and C, mechanical energy is mgh. This we should understand. Let us understand law of conservation of energy by taking example of oscillating pendulum. The mean position of pendulum is A and extreme positions are B and C. Suppose in the course of oscillation, pendulum is at point B. B is the highest position, so potential energy will be maximum. And at B, suppose we are starting from B, it is held in our hand, so it has potential energy but no kinetic energy because velocity is 0. And now we are just releasing it. It will start to move and height will start to decrease. As it will reach to A, height is minimum, potential energy is at the lowest point, it is 0, and kinetic energy is maximum, speed is maximum here. Due to that speed only, it will move further. It moved from B to A due to gravitational pull of Earth, but now it is going up against the gravitational pull because it has gained some speed. Due to inertia of motion, it will move further against gravity, and now its speed will decrease and height is increasing, so potential energy will increase, speed is decreasing, so kinetic energy will decrease. Again, when it will reach at C, potential energy will be maximum and kinetic energy will be minimum, that is 0. And the same process will continue when it will come back to A. The kinetic energy will be maximum and potential energy will be minimum. So here continuously potential energy changes to kinetic energy and kinetic energy changes to potential energy. Now we'll see some numericals. This is the second numerical from C exercise of chapter 2. A stone of mass 500 gram. Mass is given 500 gram. Stone of mass 500 gram is thrown vertically upward with a velocity 15 meter per second. It is thrown with a velocity 15 meter per second. Calculate the potential energy at the greatest height. When it will reach at the greatest height, what will be its potential energy? This is the question. At the greatest height. Further, the kinetic energy on reaching the ground, when we reach back the ground, what will be its kinetic energy? This is the second part of the question. The total energy at its halfway point, when it will be exactly at the halfway point, what will be its total energy? This is the question. See, dear children, it is exactly the same what we proved just now, that energy remains conserved. So potential energy at, if I'll take this point as A, B and C, potential energy at C will be equal to the kinetic energy at A. There are different ways. One is we'll find the height and then we'll find the potential energy. But we can use the law of conservation of energy because velocity already is given. So kinetic energy at A is half mv square. Mass is 500 gram, that is half kilogram. Velocity is 15 meter per second. So 15 15s are 225 by 4. 4 5s are 20. 4 6 are 24. 4 2s and 4 5s is it 56.25 joule. This is the first part. And when it will reach back at A, already we calculated kinetic energy at A only. This will be 56.25 joule. At any point or halfway also, not potential, total energy, which we should say mechanical energy at B, will be 56.25 joule only, according to law of conservation of mechanical energy. So we must mention the reason why we are taking, or even we can prove it the way we verified the law of conservation of energy. Same way we can prove also. Directly also can be taken, there is no harm. This is the next example. This is question number 4, numerical number 4. Question says diagram given below shows a sky jump. A skier weighing 60 kilogram force stands at A. Weight is 60 kgf, it means mass is 60 kilogram. It stands at A, this height. At the top of sky jump, he moves from A and takes off for his jump at B. This way he comes and then from here he takes off for his jump. Calculate the change in gravitational potential energy of the skier between A and B. The difference of gravitational potential energy. See, initially he was at a height of 75 meters and finally is at a height of 15 meters. So the fall is, height which is falling is 75 minus 15, that is 60 meters. This is the fall, and G is given in the question 10 meters per second square. So change in potential energy, change in potential energy is mgh, or even you can say mgh1 minus mgh2. I'm showing that mgh1 minus mgh2. So eventually if you take mg common, it will be h1 minus h2 only, which we are taking as 60. So m is 60, g is 10, and h1 minus h2 is 60. 36,000 joule, or 3.6 into 10 power 4 joule. This is the change in potential energy. Further it says, if 75% of the energy in part A becomes kinetic energy of B, from A when it's going to B, 75% of the energy changes to the kinetic energy. I'm reading again. If 75% of the energy in part A becomes kinetic energy at B, calculate the speed at which the skier arrives at B. 75%. So kinetic energy is half mv square, and the kinetic energy is 75% of this. 75% of 3.6 into 10 power 4, half m v is asked, with which velocity it will reach at d. Calculate the speed at which the sphere arrives at d. We'll take 2 and 60 this side, 25 3s and 25 4s, 3 by 4 into 3.6 into 10 power 4, and here 60 and 2 in the numerator, and this is v square. Let us cancel. 2 2s, if you remove the decimal, get one more 0 over here. 3 1s, 3 2s, it is 200. 2 18s, 9, this is 100. So if this is 2 zeros, 2 will be cancelled, it will be 90 to the power 2. So v will be square root of this. It means square root of 9 you know is 3, and square root of 100 is 10. So it is 30 meter per second. This will be the velocity at point D if 75% of the energy potential will convert to kinetic energy. Now finally, sixth numerical we are taking. This will be the last. The bob of a simple pendulum is imparted a velocity of 5 meter per second. Simple pendulum is there. Its velocity is 5 meter per second. It started to move. The bob of a simple pendulum is imparted a velocity of 5 meter per second when it is at its mean position. When it is at its mean position. To what maximum height, vertical height, will it rise on reaching its extreme position? When it will reach it to the extreme position in the course of this movement, what will be its vertical height? This is the question. Vertical height will it rise to at extreme position if 60% of its energy is lost in overcoming the friction of air. 60% of energy is lost. It means 40% energy will remain. So potential energy will be 40% of its kinetic energy, and 40% of kinetic energy is half m v square. Mass is not given, so we are assuming it to be m, and velocity is 5. And you know potential energy is mgh. M is mass, g is given 10, and height we are looking for. We'll keep this height here, rest everything that's at 40 m 5 5 divided by 102 are already there, and m and 10 will reach here. So with this, m and m will cancel, 0 and 0 will cancel, 5 20s, 5 4s, 4 and 4 will cancel, so it is 1 by 2, or you can say 0.5 meters. This is the height. So with this we have come to the end of this chapter 2. Go through the portion, try these numericals and the remaining numericals. Keep doing your best effort you put. Unfortunately you are not able to reach to schools these days, so bigger responsibility lies there on your shoulder now. So fulfill your own expectations and ours too. God bless you.